Peace, peace, peace. This is Anpu with another video on Question Everything. So this will be number 26. On this subject, we're going to be talking about hypnosis. Hypnosis. I know a lot of people don't see it on TV or in certain shows where people get hypnotized on the stage, and a lot of people just feel like, oh, that's not real, that's fake. Or some people feel like, oh, I could never be hypnotized. I've been studying this subject for quite a while. Not to say that I'm a hypnotist. I've just been studying it. I'm just kind of intrigued with the information and just the whole experience itself. There's a lot of things to talk about with hypnosis. So basically, it's like, what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is like it's like when you go into a trance state, pretty much. You're in a trance state of mind, Is no, people always have that notion of someone getting hypnotized and then make them do what they want and stuff like that. When you really research it, no one can make you do something that you don't want to do. You have like these mechanisms within your consciousness that kind of protect you from that. Hypnotist. To be a hypnotist, I know it takes years of practicing and studying, and it's an art form. It's an art form dealing with people's consciousness. Tapping into the souls. So I've been very interested in this subject, and I want to just share some information about it. First of all, people don't realize that we hypnotize ourselves a lot. And how sometimes you could be driving and basically like daydreaming. You know what I'm saying? When you daydreaming is basically you going under hypnosis. You're hypnotizing yourself pretty much. You're going in that trance state because you could just be like just sitting there gazing off and be gone. You be somewhere else. Your mind is somewhere else, doing something or thinking about something, some type of action or movement. So you be gone, So that's like that's a hypnotic state. So if you're driving your car, you know how sometimes you could just be gone through a daydream while you're driving, but at the same time, still focused on the road, Sometimes you could be like, you get to your destination and just be like, wow, how did I get here? Because you just drifted off in a hypnotic state. There's many benefits through hypnosis, and that's why I started to research it. Just amazed how the mind works, how the subconscious mind works, and the conscious mind work all collective. It's many benefits. So, and it also ties into what I always talk about astral traveling and the astral realm and the heavenly realms, whatever you want to call it. It all ties in together. It's all like connected to my astral traveling experiences. But there's many benefits in the hypnosis. So, there's cases that people go to a hypnotist to stop smoking. So say if you have a certain habit, you can stop that. Or even if you're going through depression or anxiety, or you have like a phobia, and you could go under hypnosis, and it's like rewiring the brain. Like, that's why I'm so like interested in this, because it's amazing on how the brain and the mind and all this works, and how we could program, because it's like a computer. This is why I always say this is like machines. Like, how can you hack it, right? Because this is a machine. Like, we hack computers all the time. Not we, but not me personally, but there are people out there that can hack, certain technologies, and it's like why you can't hack your own, right? And there's also self-hypnosis. Like, you could put yourself through hypnosis. There's different techniques of doing that as well. Like I said, there's many benefits. Even if you have pain, you could go through hypnosis to, you won't feel that pain no more, because you just wire your brain that way. The list goes on so many like benefits of hypnosis. Have I ever been to a hypnotist? No, I've never I've never been to one, but I would love to try it. I would definitely love to try it and go under hypnosis. And I spoke about it before in my past videos about hypnosis and how it ties into the astral realm and stuff like that. Like right now, I'm doing this audio book, and this is like the first time me doing like reading, like listening to an audio book, because I'm usually reading. I have this book here, Learn Hypnosis Now. You know what I'm saying? Michael Stevenson. I mean, it's pretty good. It gives you some type of techniques and stuff like that. I mean, I would love to learn it because you could really like help people. You could really help, and that's why I really want to like learn it. I really want to learn it to help others. Like, what if we could just put people into hypnosis and just uplift people and make them feel better? Because that's what hypnosis really does. It puts you in such a relaxed state that you feel so comfortable and so good. And I mean, it's so many benefits, man. I'm telling you. But that book is pretty good. But I'm also listening to an audio book called Journey of the Souls by Michael Newton. Very good book. A friend of mine was telling me that she does audiobooks, and she told me to try it because I'm reading so many books at one time. So, and I was like, I really want to get into this book. And yeah, it's called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. And basically, he's a hypnotist that put people under hypnosis and tap into their past lives. So that's why I always thought it was interesting. And I mean, and I also read another book years ago that another hypnotist had put someone under, and they talked about birthmarks and why we have birthmarks. And this person, I can't remember that author, this person said that birthmarks are scars from the past life. Um, they put a subject under hypnosis, and that person had talked about how they had died in a past life. So when they came out of hypnosis, she asked the subject, "Hey, do you have a scar on your right side or left side?" And the subject said, "Yes, I do. How do you know?" So that's when she started basically, every client that she had, the hypnotist will ask that question, and it was like always accurate, right? And that's why I was in, it's an ill subject to get into, it's an ill subject to study. It just makes you think, and it makes you question, like that's why I do this segment, question everything, talk about the things that people don't normally talk about or question, right? Um, yeah, so the past lives, so past lives are interesting, you know. It kind of helps you with the life that you're dealing with in the present time. And like I said, it's benefits in that as well. Sometimes you might have certain, phobias or anxieties, and it might be karma from your past life that carry over. And in this book, in the book of Journey of the Souls, I mean, it's a very, very deep. It's a deep book. It's pretty good. Um, so basically, he also not just past lives that he, put these people under and get the information. He also put people under hypnosis and let them explain their experience lives in between lives, like when they in the spiritual realms or the astral realms. You see, this is when it gets interesting because he kind of like, through the subjects that he's putting people into hypnosis, they kind of paint a picture of what it's like in the afterlife. And it's pretty, I mean, it's a lot of good information. It's pretty deep. I mean, he even asked, and he calls them like the people subjects. So he like the subject, he'll ask the subject, what do they see? How do they feel? Um, I mean, like their emotions, how they physically look. I mean, he's just asking a lot of questions that a lot of people would like to ask. So I mean, it's a pretty good book. It's you gotta check it out. And also, one of the subjects spoke about because he asked the subject, "Can you take on different bodies from like other galaxies and stuff like that, like alien bodies?" And they said, "Yeah, you can, but you have to be highly advanced." And the way how, these subjects explain in the spiritual realm while they under hypnosis, they all had the same, experience. It wasn't like it was one extreme to the next. It was like basically all the subjects that he had put under hypnosis was speaking about the same thing. So it's kind of interesting to get a perspective on, as an entity, what to experience after this experience, right? Because like I always said, this is a school, this is a learning center, and this is what the subjects were saying. Like, this is school. Like, this is not where you're from. It's just like going away to college and to learn to become a better entity. Just all about improving and perfecting self, right, to reach higher levels in consciousness. And also what I found interesting is that they all spoke about the ages of souls. Like, some souls are much older than others. So that's saying like, yeah, this kid got an old soul. That's what I was always told when I was young. They're like, wow, this kid is very mature for his age. He has an old soul. So I found that interesting, how souls have ages, just like as if we give birth to children on this physical realm, and as they grow, it's the same concept when you're dealing with spirit and soul. And that I thought was pretty interesting. And most of the old souls, like, it was also the subject spoke about how souls have jobs, right? So they will help younger souls that go through the death experience and help them transition to the next level. That I found interesting too. So you have these older souls, or what you want to call it, guardian angels or spirit guides. They, and what the book is explaining, that these subjects are saying, hey, this is what was really going on. And sometimes it could be a family member, or it could be a soul that you had, you had interaction with in your past life. It could have been, your husband 7 lives ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, something in that nature. Because also, you got to think of it, because one subject spoke about how 3 of her husbands came to receive her, but each husband was from different lives, right? And she did have more connection with one individual. I guess she's had many lifetimes, with this person. That's why sometimes in this physical realm, it's kind of important to find your soulmate. That is also one of the lessons of this life experience. Find your soulmate. And you know how you meet certain people and you just like, wow, I feel like I've known you forever. You probably do. You probably lived many lifetimes together, right? Or came into, cross paths somehow, some way. Yeah, it's pretty deep. So certain souls have jobs, and these are the ones that are very highly experienced. I really truly feel I'm one of those, because where I'm at now in my life, like, I feel like I've always been a teacher. Like, I've always been on that type of level. Like, it's like no one's taught me to be this way. It's just natural. And maybe you are too. That's just why you into these subjects. You a healer. So we are healers. We are here for a reason, to make humanity a better place. Not even just humanity, just as a whole, with this whole experience of life, just to uplift it in a positive way, right? Also, one of the subjects was speaking about the pulling process. So you will have, once you, when you pass over, all the subjects was explaining that how they were being pulled a certain direction. They were being pulled, like, to where you come from, pretty much, to heaven, to the higher realms, to astral realms, the astral plane, whatever you want to call it. And one of the Michael Newton had asked the subject, can you control it? Like, can you stop it from pulling? And they say that you can sometimes, but then sometimes you can't. And it also spoke about like the traumas that souls go through when they pass on, because a lot of souls are not ready to pass on. They get so attached to these physical vessels that they don't want to leave. You know, you build, you know, friendships and relationships. One of the subject had passed on, and he didn't want to leave because, you know, he left his wife and his kids, and he lingered around. And these are the souls, pretty much what we call ghosts. You know, these are the experiences that you hear something in a house, or, you know, you saw something in the corner of your eye, or people actually seeing, you know, ghost figures standing, you know, right in front of them. You know, these are the souls that are trapped within the realms, and they don't want to move on. A lot of people call them demonic souls, or some people call them the jinns. And like I said, I've experienced astral traveling, and I've been in between these realms, so I've seen it myself through my own personal experiences. And they real, you know, seeing ghosts, seeing entities. It exists pretty much. And these are like, you know, like I said, negative. This is where your negative souls also be as well, because they're not ready to cross over. And what I found also interesting is that Michael Newton had asked one of the subjects about, you know, people that do evil acts during their experience here on Earth. And those souls, and you know, like if hell exists and so forth. The subject said hell does not exist, right? And I always felt like that too. But the thing is, what the book said is like exactly what I was, you know, how I always felt. So hell does pretty much, like I always, you know, when you watch my question everything, are we in hell? I feel like this is a type of hell, this experience, because it's a, you know, you're gonna go through some things, and you gotta take the good with the bad with the good, you know, and hard lessons, you know, are beneficial, right? But the subject said that they don't go to heaven, well, where everybody else, with all the, you know, positive entities are. So basically, you will have to go like detention, pretty much. This is how the book is explaining it, that in these higher realms, if you commit certain acts, whatever, and you know, you start getting your memory back, and you realize, wow, I failed. You know, I failed as a, you know, an entity, and then they have to go through a schooling. It's more like the subjects explained it as like a healing place. In this healing place, you being healed with like a vibration and light, and then once you get through that, then you have to go through your karmas again. So basically, when you do something in these realms that are, you know, horrific, you're gonna have to come back and do it again until you pass that test. And that also goes for suicide. The subject spoke about how people that commit suicide, that they give up, they clock out, and then once they get into the higher realms, pretty much, you know, they immediately greeted by their guide, and they all the subjects explained that how disappointed they were, like, oh my God, I gave up. But also the subjects also explained how living life on this dimension is very hard. It's very hard, and some entities don't even want to come back for this experience, right? So this is why I say, are we in hell? This is more like a hell tormenting place, but there's something positive that you can get out of it. And also, like I always preach, we can always change it, because once we come together as a collective consciousness, we could do whatever we want. with this realm, pretty much. So yeah, so dealing with karmas, you're gonna have to redo that again. I mean, like I said, life is school, right? And and it's funny how some of the subjects also speak about how your past bodies, they'll have effect on your consciousness. And also, one of the subjects spoke about how they could just, while they in the higher realms, they can like teleport to that experience that they had, one of their Earth lives, and just like daydreaming. You just think about it, and you boom, you project it, and you're there during that experience. So a lot of bodies that we take on with these experiences do leave an imprint, on you. Um, yeah, it's. I think I'm gonna probably make a part two to this. I'm trying to, I'm still reading the book as well, or listening to the book. Like I said, I'm doing an audio book. So it's Journey of the Souls by Michael Newton. It's a real good book, and it all ties into hypnosis, right? So these are, you know, the things you can do and the information and the benefits you could get from hypnosis. I think everybody should look into it. Look into it. It's very interesting. You know, I even also question: are we under hypnosis as a collective consciousness? Right? Is religion a part of hypnosis? Right? To control people's minds. Right? It's pretty deep. It's like that movie with the aliens. I forgot the name of the movie. When they wear the shades, and when he put the shades on, he could see the aliens. He could see what's really going on. When he takes them off, it's like he's under hypnosis. He can't see it with the naked eye, but his subconscious can see it. Right? Something to think about. Question everything. Thanks for watching. Until we meet again. If you lasted this long, if I didn't bore you with information. All right. Till we meet again, this is Anpu Ra with another video on Question Everything.